There are a couple things that I would like to note about the art piece that I made for my final before I get into the gritty details. I made a couple of mistakes as well as tried some new techniques that I thought would be cool given the event that I'm trying to capture in this poster. The first mistake is that was made in the making of this piece was that I totally forgot the T in MK Ultra. I made this poster with the sketch, then trace, then color method, and for some reason, while doing the sketching of this project, I didn't even notice that the T was missing until I was already on the final steps of coloring everything in. The second thing I would like to bring up is that I attempted to use, come on. Anyway, I attempted to use watercolored pencils and actually do some watercolor to bring out a certain effect. This was my first time ever using the watercolor technique to actually add a cool element to a piece, and in some areas it worked and in others it didn't, as seen on the project itself. With that said, the poster itself is extremely colorful. A full rainbow patterned grass can be found underneath the fat guy on the bench, as well as an interestingly colored backdrop with neon purple hills, neon orange mountains, and a neon blue sky. The color choice here symbolizes counterculture of the 60s and how this event was felt across the entire country during the operations of MK Ultra. Side note, while the backdrop may seem like not much of anything special, the only way to achieve this effect is to color with highlighters. This is not easy for the record. This connects back to the research that I conducted because the tests conducted by Morgan Hall and Alfred Hubbard during this time took place from New York all the way down to the west coast of California, San Francisco respectively. The colors of the background and fictional aspects of the poster, including the weird eye on the plane and the Bruce Campbell / Ash Williams truffula tree, together as a whole attempt to symbolize the feeling of being on LSD itself, and how powerful the experience can be. Whilst this symbolism does not directly tie into the research that I have conducted, it comes from personal experience. While I will never be able to truly capture an acid trip on paper, many of the elements depicted here are loosely based on what I have felt or seen on my own time in experimentation. The I-beam created from the plane represents the goal of the entire operation and how it subsequently failed. It showcases the fact that the CIA are attempting to create a technique or chemical compound that may be used to make people follow orders that they normally wouldn't follow and then forget all about them in the aftermath. Before MK Ultra was founded, the CIA ran LSD tests on Army cadets. They found more often than not, through just dosing the cadets, they could not achieve any type of control, the most reactive of the test subjects having a similar reaction to the fat guy in the poster. The most symbolic element to this piece is most definitely the Uncle Sam's airplane. The plane represents that these experiments were conducted without the consent of the subject, and more often than not, they did not even know that an experiment was taking place. After most of the records of MK Ultra were allegedly destroyed by Sidney Gottlieb in the late 1960s, the Church Foundation were able to uncover the remains of a few experiments conducted by George White in the early days of MK Ultra. These records conclude that a science officer would sit behind a one-way mirror in a CIA-certified research warehouse to document the effects of LSD on subjects that didn't know that they were being watched or that they were being tested on. In the end, this poster is a truly groundbreaking piece in my collection for use of symbolism as well as new methods of creating art, and I hope it's as good as I think it is.